Hey everyone, my name's Yon. Welcome to another Nuts Devlog. It's the first one in 2 months, I think. I kind of fell off the wagon of my weekly updates. But I have a special guest.
Hey.
It's a very special episode because I've been in this like kind of design rabbit hole now for 2 months. I thought it'd be fun to bring a friend on board who could like poke at it a little bit and ask me some questions. And if this is fun, maybe we'll do it again. And otherwise, you'll never see Torvi again. Torvi, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Torvi. I make video games next to Yon sometimes.
Right here.
Yeah.
He made the last two games we made were Out of the Loop and Triple Agent with the company Tasty Rook. You should check them out. Really fun mobile games. But we're not.
So now we're talking about
It's not about that. It's not why am I falling into this like streamer role? I'm not a radio show host. I'm just some guy. Anyway, so this is the game. This is take 2 because we just realized that we forgot to do the scene switch and you were just seeing our faces. Now you can actually see the game. I was saying, Torve, you tried this like last week, and a lot has changed. Mostly like small quality of life stuff.
And the house is in a new place.
The house is in a new place. Paul has made this new level. It's still a lot to do. But one of the main changes since last time is that there's this quad now, and instead of having to click on the bed or the chair to transition to day or night, you're actually going somewhere else. Except we can't because we have to pick up the phone first because there's also a phone now.
Is it ringing?
It is ringing.
Oh, wow.
What a coincidence. The voice, I actually want to dedicate like another video on like story and voiceover. But for now, this person tells us like, hey, I'm going to fax you something. And then it's like, all right, cool, bye. It'll be the subject of a different video, but we got our briefing, which is still go look at squirrels. Really important sort of design and technical change is this day-night transition. And the reason for that is it solves so many things at the same time. Like we were always wondering, at exactly which point do we change between the color palettes? At exactly which point do we load and unload levels? Mm-hmm. And then, looked at games like Firewatch where there's this like long corridors between like bigger areas. And then in that game that makes sense because there's like narrative that unfolds in those corridors, but like Nuts probably isn't going to have that. Actually, it should almost feel like mechanically it should be a portal because I don't want any time wasted in like going between these two places.
Yeah.
But it solves a lot of things. So now we're in this other level, and this is actually the old level where the house used to be.
Oh, right.
And here's the really cool thing that I want to show you, both you, the internet, and you, is I made this little guy.
Nice.
It's a little bit messy still, but it's effectively inspired by, let's see if this works, by these like late 90s, like early GPS.
Yeah, let's say what era about is this? I feel like this is like mid 2000s maybe, right?
Maybe, yeah, exactly. Like I think my best reference I came with up at today is like the era where I want to set this, even though it's obviously fictional, is like the minidisc era.
Oh,
it's a perfect perfect moment in time.
Yeah, there's a lot of good
people are like going around with Discmans.
Yeah.
And then like if you're really cool and your family has a lot of money, you'll have like a mini disc, and it'll definitely be relevant for like about 2 years.
I remember those. Yeah. It's a cool era where like things were starting to get digital, but there was still a lot of physical things. Like the internet was still kind of bad, so like you still needed like physical media for your music and stuff. But people were doing cool stuff with it, like
exactly.
And I think that's a good place to start.
So the starting point of this like really janky map is extra bad because all the numbers are overlapping, and I'm probably going to fix that. But you see that like blinking tiny little squirrel on the screen. That's now the way that you find your like starting point. So in the phone call, the person on the phone will explain and tutorialize all this for you. But effectively, this really janky GPS map has hotspots that can be set remotely because gameplay reasons and 90s technology. So we have this blinking squirrel is our only information we have about this particular area of the forest. The height lines are like auto rendered, are using a special shader right now. but I might at some point like hand draw them if there's ever time. But like that would have to be, you know, basically the last step when the levels have completely been finalized, which they definitely have not. But so yeah, if we're walking past it, there's a little compass in the top left as well as the southwest. So it doesn't magically align with north, which is definitely not that's like an iPhone innovation that came much later than like a lot of early GPS stuff. I kind of like that you have to think a little bit about wind directions every once in a while.
Yeah.
So we found this tree. It's definitely the one. And we can look at where 1, 2, and 3 are. I haven't put the quad on the mini map. Should definitely do that, or the flag.
Oh yeah.
Also, this flag is frozen in time. And we can set up the second camera. Also, yeah, lots of new vegetation details that look really, really good, or at least to me. Not these flowers necessarily. Ignore the flowers. Look at this way.
The grass is cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we should talk about that at some point as well.
Yeah.
Do you see that?
Whoa!
What is that?
I wanna explore.
Yeah, do you want to explore? Well, maybe next time you can play.
Okay.
You eat your vegetables. And the third camera, let's just make it a wild card and go back home.
Yeah, the map is just showing you like terrain, right? It's not showing you trees or
so I wrote
strange structures necessarily.
Yeah, exactly. I can maybe show this real quick. I wrote this top down, a camera shader, and there's this camera that floats somewhere right above the player. And it just renders with a special replacement material, like this topographical map, and then the little like quad that sits on top of the 3D model of the thing shows the sort of scrolls over that texture.
I like that the palette of the map changed with the...
The ideal goal is I think that there will at no point be more than 3 sort of main colors, but of course we use gradients, so it's not going to be like Obra Dinn or like it's not real monochrome or whatever triochrome, is that a thing?
I don't know.
Trichrome. It's not ever going to be really that because I really, really, really want the gradients, but at the same time I don't want to ever in code say like this is the 4th color, but right now there kind of are.
Yeah.
Like I don't know where this gray came from, but these things are gray.
It still feels like it fits into the palette.
Yeah. Can hide the thing as well. Oh, and really nice if you get close to something, it kind of goes out of the way.
That's cool.
The game is running at a really bad frame rate because of the video recording, but sure. Whoa. One day I'll get a real computer. I also redid the controls of the VCR deck a little bit. I was getting really fed up with them.
Yeah.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh.
Jumps to the left. Which we're not looking at all of the. Here we go. I think that was also, yeah, it's right of 4, left of 2. So it's basically running right in between 2 cameras. Bum.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of potential for good mid this like early to mid 2000s tech design in like the VCR also.
Yeah. Right. I just mostly, I think it's both interesting because that's where we're going to end up with a lot of this like camera and video stuff, but also because it's like an era that is, I think, only just now we're starting to feel nostalgic about, or a lot of people because I think we're about to hit the point in the cycle where it's the next season of Stranger Things.
They'll all be listening to minidisc players.
There we go. That was a cool tail shot, but it's actually still the same information. Did we get lucky? Did we up?
Oh.
Okay. So it ends up turning left of the TV number 3. Yeah. So one thing I've been wondering about a lot is like with these quality of life improvements, like this GPS, for example, initially when I was thinking about like what I would want this game to be like, you know, how would I prevent it from just every mission is basically the same, was I would give you like almost like a store and like quality of life improvements in terms of like you would be able to get like this GPS thing after doing the first 2 missions. But then I started to realize like that's just like really frustrating. Like, you know, you'll feel like maybe more powerful, but also it's not like, as soon as I make one of these improvements, I never want to play without them. Like, I think every time I make something like it's a map now instead of this like abstract number, or the TV has like a better viewing angle now.
Yeah.
Or the deck is easier to control. Like, I was imagining a lot of those to be connected to the progression. Like in level 3, you'll have like a better VCR that can do slow-mo or pause, you know, or fast forward more quickly or something. And then I realized like, no, I should just design good things, because it's going to be really, you know, you would never have a reason to go back to like a shittier version. You would just accumulate a bunch of junk, and it would just be the first hour of the game would be, oh, there he goes. Goes to the right on number 4. Oh wait, he comes back. Did we know this? Did we already see this? No. He just goes back to number 3. When does he actually end? Oh.
Is he going up the tree there?
He's running all the way in the back here. Oh wait, this is backwards.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he ends up
somewhere to the right of 4.
How long
he's up on the rocks back there.
Oh shit. Wait. So he's not blending into the fog for some reason. That's interesting. That might be a bug actually. But he's okay. Well, we cheated, but that's okay. It's really deep into camera 4.
Yeah, that's interesting. So that idea really reminds me of Subnautica.
Right.
So what that game does really well is that it gives you all of these like little improvements, these small, like quality of life tools basically.
Yeah.
Like one that I think about a lot is that a pretty early one you get is like this flotation device.
Right.
So that I mean, normally you can swim to the surface at any time, but you get this flotation device, and all it does really is that you can inflate it, and it takes you up really quickly.
Right.
And so I don't know what the version of that would be here, but Subnautica does manage to find a place where
you're not like just angry for it withholding you.
Yeah, exactly.
Withholding the stuff from you. I guess in a survival game that makes a bit more sense, because like you want to survive, but
that's
like
true.
In this game, you don't necessarily want to play the video faster. Or, you know, like I think better cameras that have wider angles and stuff still makes sense.
Yeah.
But stuff like you know, now it'll be less janky. Is like just not. I should start from a point where like everything is good and usable, and then figure out like what is there left to want.
Yeah, or I think another way to approach it, because like we
start at the end. Yeah,
we talk about Quadrilateral Cowboy a lot.
Yeah, we talk about Quadrilateral Cowboy a lot.
And I feel like the way that game approaches this problem is that it sets up levels where it's not just like that the new piece of.
Is it not one of these trees?
I guess not.
Oh wait, no, it totally is.
It's in 2. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was saying what that game does is the new tech is like the level isn't solvable,
right,
without the new piece of equipment,
right,
and so that just becomes like it almost becomes like a new mechanic, in that level. So I think that's another potential way to approach.
Well,
this.
I think that's actually, I hadn't thought about that sort of analogy, but I think that's where I want to be. Is exactly, or like part of the reason. What I also wanted to do with this is like now I have a way to like this quad, and the fact that it's like a larger area spaced out. We're trying to solve this narratively as well, that there is a reason to give you specific equipment for a specific mission.
Mm-hmm.
Like you'll never be able to, if I don't want you to, in this particular area of the forest, end up with a sound recorder because I don't want you to have it here. But then there's a level where there's only sound recorders and there's like tall grass or something, so you can't use the regular cameras.
Yeah.
But rather than sort of, I don't think you necessarily finding out which equipment to use is like fun. Like you'll figure that out in the first second. So instead, I'd rather be able to like handcraft, like, you know, for a narrative reason, you can only have one camera right now. Like, there's budget cuts this month. and you just don't have them, or they break down, or they get stolen. And I have much more design control over that now. Like I can make 20 levels and actually give you exactly the equipment that I need you to have. The thing that Quadrilateral Cowboy does so well is like it narratively upgrades your equipment.
Yeah.
And you narratively go to a shop to get it, but it is just a cutscene. Like there's no choice. You don't get to choose to have the launch pad.
Spending your cash or anything.
No, and I think that's a really good. But it's cool that they still use this like shop analogy, because I really have the feeling like, oh yeah, I bought it, or I acquired this new thing. Which with the money I'm getting paid by doing these missions.
Yeah.
But I'm not like ever. Yeah, I never end up in a mission with the wrong equipment or with janky equipment that you're forcing me to use. Oh, there he goes. Boop. All right. So now you get to see what happens next. I don't know if this was already working. I think the printing was working, but I had like a really, really janky mailbox in the last.
I like the way the picture falls onto the floor.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sold about that being the best way to do this, but I don't know why I printed it out twice.
It's a very true to life experience, though.
Yes, I remember. Yeah, I printed my master's thesis and like left the room for 2 minutes and came back, and there was just like 150 pages on the floor. Yeah, it's still a pretty janky animation, but there we go. So we get the photo back. But the phone starts ringing. I'm still thinking, I don't know what to do when the phone is ringing and you're like looking in this direction, and like if you're playing without sound like we're doing now because we're recording.
Maybe you need like like when in an FPS when you get shot from the back, you get like an indicator. There needs to be like an indicator.
That's a good idea, because like the phone and the fax are pretty much the only two things that will ever that I need you to care about. Like if the squirrel's like running over the TV and you're not looking at it, that's on you. That's your fault. But if you like if the fax starts just like printing, like I don't know, narrative like newspaper articles or something, I kind of need you to like hear it even when the sound is off. But so this phone is totally ringing. Hooray, you did it. That's definitely that text is final. It's not. It's not placeholder. Can you imagine? This is here because I'm gonna make you like pick it up once and then have her like say that like, oh, I'll mark the spot on the map, and then the squirrel starts blinking, etc. But work in progress. But that's how everything looks nowadays, and why we have split up levels. And is there anything else that sticks out? Should we call it?
I like that the house is up on this like little hill.
Yeah, me too. The quad is definitely gonna like drive up and down this slope. I'm also thinking to start the game off by like having the squirrel just there's like one friendly squirrel that just lives in like the trees around your house. So you can like experiment with all the equipment and also like tutorialize.
It'd be cool to see him every now and then, just like hanging out.
He just lives there. Fuck, that's a really good idea.
But just you see him in that
maybe before introducing the whole day and night stuff, there's just like the phone rings and the lady just goes like, there's this one squirrel that lives in the area. We know he's friendly. Can you just to make sure everything works, like take a picture of it, and then you're just here, and instead of the deck doesn't work yet, it's just happening, and you have to kind of like snapshot it, I guess. Although maybe
that would be a good way to teach you how the TV printer connection works, because I think that's not immediately obvious. But
something like that. To think about it a little bit, because if you can't rewind, having to like press the print button exactly when the squirrel is on screen is a little bit annoying.
Yeah, I mean, you would want him to be static, like just like sitting in the trees.
Yeah, of course, that makes sense.
I like the little bit of motion when you drop the printer.
Everything is like a little bit wobbly. Like I built. Okay, last thing we're gonna do in the video, I built like a tiny little what's called like a catapult earlier, and it was kind of funny. It's extremely, if you like, nobody's gonna find this impressive, but I still think it's pretty funny.
This is a mini game
because I really want people to come up with. Oh, did it just fall off already? Oh, this game sucks. Anyway, clunk. Yeah, I'm really wondering how far I should go. Like, I want you, I really like that I'm, that kind of forcing you to like pick up the phone and like pick up all these things and place them correctly. Like at some point I definitely want this TV to just like sit here in a box and it just arrived by mail or whatever, and you have to like unpack it, set it up, turn it on. It's like a huge rabbit hole, and it costs me a lot of effort to build something that users will then literally do once.
Yeah.
But even, for example, like I could use the same tech I used for this cord to make like power cables, and like everything has to be plugged in, and it'll look like visually like super interesting, but it's so unnecessary. But again, I'll invoke the power of Brandon Chung. Like this hammer, I'm really happy with that. I just added this, that if you look at something that is locked, it shows the little lock icon. So the table is locked, but let's say I want to move the table. Did I unlock it? Oops. I can't remember which of the two icons means that it's locked. It's probably a bad sign. There we go. all my shit is ruined.
Yeah.
I'm still very much okay with that. Oh, this is nice. This is a nice.
Yeah. Good design.
Yeah. Good Turbo Squid table from IKEA. Anyway, yeah, this is exactly what I want to happen in players' games. And then they'll be super angry and give me a bad review on Steam. It's actually a household simulator. Okay, this was everything I wanted to show you now. I think next week, hopefully, let's see if I can get back to weekly. I want to talk about some narrative stuff, and hopefully we'll have like a voiceover demo to show you. And yeah, in general, what I'm doing now is I'm trying to make a build that's as bulletproof as possible for the IGF, which is September 30th.
Exciting.
Yeah. Are you thinking of sending anything to the IGF?
Probably not.
Well, then you should be a judge and give me all those nepotistic good points.
I'll do my best.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for infiltrating. Okay. Cool. Thanks so much for watching. And yeah, as always, get at me if you have any questions or want me to show anything else in depth. Bye.